Doug Christie here, coming to you from beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, where 490 some Tamil, quote, migrants, close quote, arrived by unannounced or unaccepted or uninvited vessel. The question arises, just what is this going to mean? Ultimately, people are going to be coming here in larger and larger numbers because it's the desired destination for people seeking so-called refugee status. And they come basically without any prior vetting or identification. Nobody knows exactly how much this is going to cost, but each one was in the same vessel, of course, tracked all the way across the Pacific. And then, of course, the Canadian Navy had to go out and meet them and greet them on the high seas as they entered 12-mile limit. Then they had to be brought in. Then they had to be hospitalized and examined, which of course wouldn't mean they'd wait in our emergency waiting rooms. I'm sure they'd go immediately to be dealt with, rather than we who have to wait our turn in the extended period of emergency waiting room. Then they have to be incarcerated, then they have to be examined, then they have to be interrogated, then they have to be tried in a sort of way by the Refugee Appeal Board, and goodness knows how many federal court appeals might occur, and then they have to be supervised on bail while they're released and go to Toronto, where there are already 300,000 Tamils. 100,000 of them recently took to the street and closed down the city of Toronto. All of which raises the question, what is the benefit to Canada or the result of the arrival of these people? The answer clearly is huge cost. Huge cost in time, money, material, and confusion. And the confusion exists in our law as well, because there is no apparent legal means to reject refugees from coming into our territory, according to the Supreme Court of Canada. I believe the Singh decision is the result of that court's determination. So, in essence, what I'm concerned about is the introduction of people who were involved in foreign conflicts as refugees into Canada, or even as landed immigrants. The largest mass murder in Canadian history was committed, in all likelihood, by those who were seeking Khalistan, the independent Sikh homeland in northwestern India. That murder was the result of introducing a foreign conflict into Canada through a large number of immigrants with that conviction. And no matter where they come from, they bring with them the struggles and conflicts of their homeland, and in case like the Tamil case, they are in fact the feeding ground for any future resistance. Now, I'm not saying the Tamils are right or wrong, and I certainly sympathize with people suffering in any part of the world, but we cannot solve the problems of the world by bringing them into Canada and pretending that large numbers of people from foreign countries are not going to change the fundamental culture of our society, and change it in some cases, resulting in the largest of all possible mass murders. There are many situations where the Tamil, call them migrants, call them refugees, whatever, will bring with them the idea that they should recapture that lost part of Sri Lanka that they feel was properly theirs. That will not, in all likelihood, escape the notice of the 300,000 who are already in Toronto. And therefore, I say, we have to find a means to reject illegal migrants from landing in Canada and receiving all of the benefits of our health care and our immigration processes. This decision as to whether a person is or isn't a legitimate refugee has to be made offshore. And as in the case of Australia, and certainly in the case of the United States, they don't accept people just coming in boatloads. Because if you can do it for one boatload, why not 10? If not 10, why not 1,000? And if for 1,000, where is the limit? And in fact, there are at least 1,000 boatloads of people who would like to come to Canada and can claim all kinds of specious and sometimes legitimate excuses claiming to be refugees. The end result is chaos. Ottawa and the federal system, with Ontario particularly devoted to minority rights, has destined the whole country to become a dumping ground for every radical cause around the world. This we must avoid. This we must prevent. Western Canada has potential of having the will to stop this illegal and uncontrollable immigration. And therefore, this example is a perfect reason why Western Canada has to be independent to control access to what is in effect the most prosperous free part of the world. Therefore, I say once again, Ottawa cannot solve this problem, will not solve this problem, because Toronto votes on these block votes of ethnic origin. And Western Canada has enough homogeneity and common interest remaining to make that impossible in Western Canada. So therefore, to prevent this disaster from continuing, we have to free the West.